Goal setting can come up as a one mark answer on many questions in sports psychology around how to improve things. So about reducing anxiety or improving self-efficacy, or even looking at groups and things like that as well. It can also be a topic all by itself though as well, so we need to know the main parts about how to set goals. So goal setting is, setting a goal is trying to achieve something. So we're actually given some sort of aim or objective about something that we're trying to achieve. It comes from business background, where it's been a theory of motivation, where people become more productive if we set goals for them, or if even better if they set their own goals. So a lot of the research that came out of goal setting was from Locke and Latham, and that was business based. Obviously we try to apply this to sport. So it increases motivation first of all, but also Bandura has shown that appropriate goals, realistic goals basically, can also enhance self-efficacy. So the first type of goal is an outcome goal. So outcome goals obviously focus on the outcome or the results. So focus on the results of something. So basically we're looking at things to win here. So normally in sport it will be to win a match, win a league, win a cup, those types of things. Secondly, performance goals. Performance goals focus on improvements. So we focus on our own performance and try to achieve something within our own performance. So quite often this might be looking at running a certain time or swimming a certain time, or in team sports achieving a certain amount of accurate passes or shots, etc. And the last one is a process goal. So a process goal is focusing on the procedures that we go through, so something that we're actually going to carry out, something we're going to do in order to achieve those other goals. So these are your everyday things that you're going to be putting into your training, etc. Even down to all the extras that we do in sport now around nutrition, what we're going to eat, and our strength training program, etc., etc. So doing your sports psychology, all that kind of stuff. We can also look at goals in terms of how long we take to achieve them. So we can set long, medium and short term goals, and all athletes would do this. So normally the long term goal would be the outcome goal. So that might be, in terms of an Olympic athlete, it could be 4 years away, and then medium term goals along the way to that, maybe performance goals around, you need to hit certain times, for example, along the way, and your short-term process goals happen every day. Just looking at the types of goals as well, with outcome particularly, outcome goals can be detrimental to performance if we only focus on outcome goals. Alright, obviously we can't control always the result of things, and it might be that we've actually performed particularly well but we just didn't achieve the result. So it's important that performers focus more on performance and process goals. Performance goals can be controlled, and we can control what we do in our own performance. So if we compare our standards to ourselves, then that is much better for your motivation and self-efficacy. Again, the same with the process goals, much easier to control and achieve. How do we set goals then? So this comes down to the SMARTER acronym, and so we start with specific. So specific goals have been shown in research that they're much better for motivation and production than do your best goals. So make it specific, make it to do with, in sport, make it to do with obviously your sport, but also certain skills that you're trying to improve, for example. So things that are specific to you as a performer, as a player. Secondly, measurable goals. So measurable would normally involve putting some sort of number on the goal, so how many or what time, or whatever it might be. So this is useful to allow us to evaluate whether we're achieving any progress towards towards achieving the goal. So along the way, so is it measurable, so that we know whether we've achieved it or not. The A is agreed. People get the A wrong. They say it's achievable. It's not achievable because the next one is R for realistic, which is the same thing. So agreed goals are ones that you agree with. So what we don't want in sport is the coach to be setting goals for you, or other people to be setting goals for you. So again, within a team situation, do you agree with the team's goal? So ideally, the athlete would agree with or just set their own goals. Realistic's really important, so the R is for realistic, and this is why we're saying that the A isn't achievable, because this is the same thing. So realistic goals are really important. Burton's research down here showed that this is really important, that the fact that unattainable, unrealistic goals are actually dysfunctional for performance, makes you worse. So if you're setting unattainable targets and therefore obviously not achieving those targets, then that can be bad for you. It will be negative performance accomplishments, if you like, and you wouldn't be achieving your goals, and therefore self-efficacy, motivation will decrease. So realistic goals are very important. They should challenge you, yes. Alright, so there should be a challenge there. It should be something that pushes you out of your comfort zone, but it should be realistic that we are able to achieve it. Time related, so we should put a time on things, not just whenever. Otherwise we won't bother. So I think this is quite a common mistake. People just put off things. They're going to start doing it soon or whatever. So put a time, exactly when are you going to achieve the goal by. Can you make it exciting? Alright, sometimes that's impossible, but if we're able to make the goal exciting, and this might be where your outcome goals do come in, then all the better for motivation. And lastly, recorded. So write them down, come up with an action plan and write them down, which can remind you of your goals, and therefore we can again look at an evaluation as to whether we are achieving them or not.